Now we're on.
Now we're on.
Now we're on.
Now,
See?
this guy's doing a hell of a job.
Could you imagine?
He's got no idea.
No idea.
He's got no idea. I just wanted to remind you.
And just to think he's building somebody's app right now.
And we need your help. We need advertising. Look at me. Look, I'd like to go colors. All right? But I just don't have the shekels in my drawer. Tell everybody that you can advertise on the show. If you've got a cousin who's maybe got a deli in Highlands,
loan shark, anything that you need to get out there, right? We're not. Let's be honest here.
Call me. And so now that we're back, and now that you've completely taken away the entire onus of the program and what our mission statement is.
Oh, I know what our mission statement is.
Oh, you don't know our mission statement. Otherwise, you wouldn't say the things you do. Our mission statement is that we're the only people in the market, entire spectrum of sports media in Atlanta, who's going to tell people what's going on.
Well, that's true.
Well, we're going to have an opinion. He's good, he's bad. He's a good guy, he's a bad guy, he's a good coach.
You've said this enough times to where, first of all, it registers with me. But any kind of, if you're getting your sports news from the newspaper or from radio, right, it's not their fault, right, to an extent. They can't say certain things. They're just, you're
No. Who said that? I mean, basically, that's why they can't say things, because they are involved monetarily with everybody, especially the newspaper. The newspaper's got to say, I mean, how come the newspaper can't be objective? When was the last time you saw a newspaper that was not objective in any way, shape, or form?
So I will say this, and maybe you've got to be an athlete and have a little cash in your pocket to maybe say some things that you'd like to say. Randy McMichael, who does the midday show, and I was listening to him on the way over here. They were talking about a pitcher for the Braves. And co-host mentions his name. He goes, "Man, that dude's garbage." And he goes, "Well, he's not really garbage, he's just, whatever." He goes, "No, he's trash." He's like, "I can't stand when he pitches."
Good for him. And, like Randy.
Good for him. Bo likes it. He's like, "Yeah,
well, Randy,
I like this guy."
No, if you got an opinion, bring it. People out there, wandering around, we have access to these people. We know what's going on. I have more experience than anybody on the East Coast. I mean, when you talk about what you've done and where you've been and how many teams you've been on, and how many teams you've seen, how many coaches you played for.
The babe, the boy, the essence.
I'm trying to get something like the essence and make it into a salve, so people can rub it on and just know what the hell's going on.
I saw a guy carrying a UPS package down the steps the other day coming out of your unit. He approached the door, and he was sniffing around. He said, "Who lives there?" I said, "Beau Bock." And he goes, "Oh." And he drove off. So he could feel it. He didn't know what it was, who it was.
Some people, when they look, they see vibrations, some an aura. It's like it all depends. I manifest myself in many different ways. And it all depends on where you are mystically, emotionally, psychologically, whether you recognize it or not.
And this is all bent around time, because different times call on different...
I did this centuries ago. All right? That was I was with Genghis Khan.
They say that everybody on planet Earth is related to Genghis Khan in one way, shape, or another because he raped so many women. Give it there, brother. Khan, you.
I told him. I said again, because I knew him. Again, you're going to need a rubber sooner or later.
He was just hung up on that big wall.
God.
That's it. He was just hung up on the big wall. Speaking, what was crazy was the Andrew Luck thing, because we hadn't had our fantasy football draft yet. We always wait until after the final preseason, even though none of the stars really playing it, just because crazy things happen, you never know. But this was probably the craziest thing to happen close to a fantasy trade deadline. And so the reason I bring up fantasy, because everybody's in a fantasy league goes back and forth with their group, their guys, whatever. Somebody put on our fantasy thread that Andrew Luck retired, which you think maybe they're trying to manipulate the draft order.
Right.
They're up to something,
Right.
right? Because Andrew Luck's not really retiring.
Right.
You know, he's too young. They got a loaded team, and I saw
And there's $60 million on the table.
Well, yeah, and I
He walked away from $60 million.
could not believe that he retired. He must really be beat up.
He is.
He's got it.
Yeah, you can tell his boy. You know, he just can't go through it again. You know, multiple injuries, and the most gruesome thing of all in the game or all game is the rehab process. That you're on your own. It's unrelenting. It's like you get no satisfaction from it until months later when you finally can return. It's a tough ordeal.
It's an interesting, and I wonder if he was a fringe guy and didn't have that money to fall back on, but was still smart enough to see a big picture outside of football. If he still makes that decision, obviously the money makes it easier.
Oh, I think he's totally. I mean, like I said, he's walking away from $60 million. How much do you think he's?
What do you think he does next? Like, if he stays away from football for the rest of his life, what do you think he does?
You really don't think of him as a TV guy, but
Definitely.
he might give it a try. I don't see him coaching or anything like that. He might give it a try. He's an intelligent guy.
29 years old, man. I mean, just think about that. It'd be one thing at a skill position, a wide receiver, running back. We've seen it. Calvin Johnson, Robert Smith, just to name a couple guys. But at the quarterbacks, especially the kind of money that they make, those guys just don't walk away.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a shocker.
Man, so they're going to suck this year. That's Falcons get them week 3.
Yeah.
Up there in Indy. So now
I've got that down as a win.
write that down.
No,
Keep track of all these wins and losses, Bo.
We're first 4 games we're 2-2,
Okay.
and the Colts is one of the wins.
Can we make this interesting?
No.
I've already got
No.
a $100 bet out there.
Yeah.
I bet with my buddy, who you really get along with, because he is really anti-blank and the Falcons and all that. So you two would hit it off.
Wait a minute. I don't have. There's no bigger Falcon guy in the market than me.
No. But I'm saying I'm kind of on that way. I have a strong distaste for.
Arthur's jobbing us. Not that he just that he doesn't know enough. He's too arrogant to find out. He selects all the wrong people in all the wrong places. He's not intuitive that way.
Looking for love in all the wrong places.
Must have been Bernie who hired the hammer guys. Arthur hired a guy who's like squeezing it. Like, no, it's not wrenches. We got you in hammers. So, it's just.
But anyway, so he and I, every year, we make
Yeah.
a $100 bet on the Vegas win total for the Atlanta Falcons, over, under. I always go over, he always goes under. So about 50-50 we split. This year, he told me, other than last year, and he jokes about this. Last year, he said, dude, the Falcons going to win 5 games. And I sort of sounded absurd. He's like Devonta Freeman's damaged goods. He'll never play another game. He's like, they're paying him, 11, 12, 13 million a year for the next couple years.
Right.
They refuse to draft tough players. This is his
Right?
thing.
No, true.
He said it's all finesse with them, and he's
True.
like, and as soon as they get punched in the mouth, they quit.
It's over.
And he said,
Yeah.
until they change that, it's over. He
Right.
said, so I said, well, do you want to know what the total is? He goes, I don't care what the total is. They're not
It's
winning
under.
over
Right.
what they're supposed to win. It's
Right.
under $100. He said, do you want to give me my money now? So
What
he's
what is the number?
8.5. Sounds easy. It would go. It's minus 120 though, so you're paying
under.
double juice.
It's under because we're going to win 8.
That's what he's saying, under.
Yeah, and what a shame that is, because when you think about our ability to score, I mean, you think about the weapons that we have. It's
Can
a
we
shame.
run the football?
Not well.
I don't think we can run the football.
No, not well.
And don't give me this. Devonta Freeman's coming back. He is going to last 50 carries.
Yeah, I agree. And
it's not an indictment on him. I think he's a tremendous guy. I think he's a tremendous athlete.
But, really, running backs don't last long anymore.
And we rode him in fast and hard. And he just took.
Hey, I wonder if when he's done, if we put him up there with Warwick.
Probably. Probably.
In the rafters, yeah. I mean, it depends on how he and Arthur get along.
Well, you build a house. Every house you build. Yeah, but
There's got to have toilets. What? Every house you build, what?
the habitat for humanity.
Oh.
Every house you build, you got a better chance of getting into the thing. I was hoping that one day. By the way, I thought Dansby hit one out in his first at bat yesterday. He just missed it.
I'm glad he's back.
Yeah, he's man. We really need him. How about these guys? The Hachiaveras, the Cervellis, all of them.
Everybody that we get,
right?
All of a sudden is
Ortega
is nuts to help.
Ortega hits a grand slam to win the game.
Echeverria looks like an all-star.
He played. You know who his boys are?
Is,
You know who his boys are? Who he's Hachiaveria, Albies and Acuna. Every time you see him, he's got him like in headlocks. They freaking love him.
Yeah. That's part of our playing personality. That's why I didn't want Donaldson to come in and take Camargo out of the mix. That's the essence of us.
Yeah.
Those guys run the club.
Donaldson's got his thing going on.
Donaldson does. I agree. I would have been wrong about that.
Right.
But he's been fantastic.
You got to keep him, don't you?
Yeah.
So then what do? You put Riley in left field, or you trade Riley?
You can put Riley in left field, yeah.
Yeah, because you got those other two outfielders coming up in Pache and Waters.
Oh, I know.
You got Markakis under contract another year.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. I've never seen Pache.
Right.
And
he's bigger than I thought he was. I went to a Gwinnett game. Yeah, he's bigger than I thought he was. He's actually not doing that well, Gwinnett. I think he's hitting about right around 200, but Waters is 350.
Yeah.
Waters is the guy. I mean, everywhere he's gone, he's hitting over 300.
Guys get stale. Like my nephew Billy in the Yankees organization is with Scranton, the AAA team. His season is over Friday.
Well, they expand rosters coming up, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if he's going to get called up. He's only got 14 steals, and his whole game is this. He's Billy Hamilton.
Right.
That's his whole deal, and it's just he had a knee, and that was reluctant in getting cured. So it's a tough situation. Plus, he's going to be a free agent.
So what's he going to do after this year? Is he going to stay? Just be a minor leaguer if he doesn't get the break that he wants? Or
You got to stay in the game. If you don't get a major league contract, that's what he hit 300 with Oakland the entire season. Had 33 stolen bases, led all rookies in stolen
You're
bases.
right about staying in the game.
So you got to be there. If you can't get a major league contract, you got to get a minor league contract and stay there.
Yeah, so when my dad retired, he moved back. My dad used to play professional baseball, and when he left and retired, he went back to somewhere in the St. Louis area. Mm-hmm. And the Cardinals approached him about a managerial job for their lowest affiliate, which back then there was each team had 8 or 10 minor league affiliates. But it was a chance to stay in the game. And so he took it. He was like, yeah, I'm going to take it. Went there, was there for 2 or 3 days, and then he was engaged at the time, and the woman's father was a judge, and he was like, no, you need to get a real job. You're not going to start traveling around and doing this baseball nonsense again. So anyway, he tendered his resignation and recommended a friend for the job, and that was Whitey Herzog's first job. That's how Whitey Herzog got into coaching and stayed in baseball.
Wow.
So my dad always wonders if I would have stayed that route.
Right.
Yeah,
of course.
He'd have had to dye his hair white.
Dyes.
Whitey.
Great difference today.
What a fun bunch of baseball teams that they had to watch. Those Cardinal teams in the 80s with the speed and all that.
Yeah.
Do you think a team like that could make it today?
Yeah.
Do you?
I really do. In fact, I was thinking yesterday, and I tend to go overboard in that regard, but we had runner on third. We were down by 1. It was Hamilton on third, 1 out.
Suicide? If you're going to do it. But these guys can't bunt. That's the whole thing. They can't bunt. And here's the thing that managers say and the players say is we can't bunt. How the F are you going to learn if you don't practice it? They don't practice it. No. So if you don't practice it, of course you're not going to be able to bunt. That's on the manager.
Yeah, what I'm surprised at is guys coming out of the minor leagues and coming through the system and not being able to bunt.
Well, there's a designated hitter all the way through in minor league baseball. Yeah. Pitchers don't have to hit, so now the pitchers can't even freaking bunt.
Right. No, it's terrible.
It is terrible. But
when I was, I'm thinking when did I start bunting? 3.5, 4.
Right.
I might have been 4 years old when I started.
You were a switch bunter.
I was that old of one.
Drag, push,
My mother
sacrifice.
My mother was always going under the couch to find the ball. Because I put it down and it would roll,
Remember the one you used to with the backspin? Remember, you get to the pitch and then start backing it up.
I do that.
Yeah.
I do that right under the coffee table. Boom. How'd you do that?
Man, those guys. I saw on Twitter the other day, guy tweeted out a picture of Brett Butler. He was the best.
Yeah.
He was the best there.
Yeah.
And we traded him.
Yeah, he, with Braves for all of those years or so, it didn't make any difference.
Huh.
It didn't make any difference. What
Who did
we
they get for him? He traded to what, the Indians?
Yeah. I don't remember. Oh, Len Barker.
Len Barker. Yeah, that didn't work out very well.
No. I think Lenny got here and mentally retired. Seriously,
so?
I mean, happy, yeah.
Well, those guys back then, they were on tops. 1-2 year deals, 3-year deals, maybe.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a
He
salary.
still lives
dump.
here, Len Barker still lives. In fact, he's watching right now.
Hey, Lenny, how you doing?
You babe, you a boy. And what?
Oh, that's it.
Hey, how'd you like the FedEx?
Didn't watch any of it.
Really?
Nah, I was out all weekend. Couldn't get anything
I
done.
thought it was spectacular. I mean, I'm talking about for the game and for a boost and for I thought it really tied the entire golfing world together.
Did anybody have a chance at the end? It was Koepka. He was number two.
Koepka was there, but Koepka faded in about 16 or so. It's like McIlroy really came on.
All right, Junji's going to give us a status. He says, we're good.
Wow.
We're good.
Junji.
Yeah, but what was interesting is I heard him talking to Rory afterwards. They said, much, needed break, at the end of the cup or whatever. And Rory's like, yeah, I don't know about you. He's like, I'm about to jump on a plane because he's playing both tours.
Right, yeah.
So he's still got a chance to qualify for their version. I think they do it in Dubai.
Right.
Of the European FedEx Cup. That's pretty badass,
You know what? You go to Dubai. If Dubai, every guy wants to play in Dubai because they're giving them $1 million just to show up.
Just to show up?
Yeah.
Is that the difference?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why you get Tiger go over there to play or Phil go over there to play. They
like the desert.
Also, they fill your plane with gas. That sounds ridiculous. That's what they do. They give you a fill up and a mill.